Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
And welcome back, everybody. We have spoken with her many times about different types of design and even construction to some point. In many places around the world, actually, she's got a company that does award-winning home staging, designs, just amazing stuff. I've learned so much. Even learned that sometimes you don't need to spend a lot to get a pretty opulent look. Today, we're going to take a look at a very, very special project. I don't know a lot about it. I know that she's been working on it. We're going to learn more. And I'm so happy for her being asked to do this particular project. She is the woman behind the luxury look. Kristine Vowles joins us on the program. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm doing good. Hanging in there.
And this project's in Puerto Rico, and you've been asked to design something very different. We're not talking about a home renovation, design of a building, interior, anything like that. Tell us about this.
So, long story short, many conversations and connecting with just a genuine human being many years ago. Their passion was to bring something to the world that would create unity and a place where everyone feels included, and an opportunity to help them understand that connecting with themselves, God, whatever God is to them, or however they need to feel that they're not alone, that they are loved, that they are, basically bringing the world back to unification. So they decided to build what's a world monument. Mm-hmm. It is up for the eighth wonder of the world. So it's on the list to be accepted for that. And so it's just a monument. It's going to be a 33-acre project, all about health, wellness, mind, body, soul, sound healing.
Wow.
Paint therapy. They've already taken their initiatives and started putting it into the schools for children. And they're finding that teaching the children how to stop and think, they have to, quickly meditate. It is stopping them from going into anger, changing their dynamics on how they respond to people when they don't like something. And so it's even working at this point now. All the schools in California are starting to look to adopt it. But those kinds of healing practices are going to be, part of the practice here. And so it's just going to be something that's never been done before. A lot of the practices are just incredible. One of the people behind this project have been traveling the world, speaking with leaders of all churches.
Wow.
And every one of them wants to be included in this project.
Amazing. The time has come. I'm going to say that. Mm-hmm. And I remember when my kids were in elementary school, and my youngest is 16. And I remember they told me that the teacher who was big into meditation and yoga in elementary school, call it like fifth grade, was doing this, so do the math on that. Well, not that far back. To me, it was like, oh, interesting. And side note, I have done thousands of podcasts and still do every day about this sound healing, energy, spirituality. That doesn't mean religion. Can if you wanted to. But all of this, so it's wonderful that they're doing this and even focusing on children with this center. So your part in this, what's your vision? How are you going to support? What are you thinking in terms of connecting with what they're all about and using your design skills?
That's a loaded question. So it's really not my vision. I'm really trying to connect at a very high level with the people involved. I've also, behind the scenes, gone and checked myself into wellness facilities. I've attended all kinds of different wellness practices, and I've traveled all over trying to really understand what those that teach, what they need, what kind of spaces do they need. Like from yoga retreats to I've gone to healing paint facilities and watched them how they interact with the children. I've gone to places where they deal with people that have a lot of trauma mentally,
Yep.
and how they help them through that. And I've just been a fly on the wall trying to connect at a level to where when we say we're building something for everybody, I need to make sure that I'm not eliminating somebody or, a religion, or, I wanted to have these bricks laid going up to the tower with words written on them. And then I found out that would be
Limiting.
for some nationalities. That's
And what language would you put them
negative.
in? Unless it would be, pick one word, believe, and then here it is in this
Yes.
language, that language, this, all across. I don't know.
Well, I found out that there's like 570, I think that's the number, 570 different languages. No, it might be 780. I don't know. I've been doing all this research on all the different languages. If you really draw it all the way down, and I'm like, well, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Would like to somehow have in a wall that's along a walking path, the word love etched into the wall of every single different language out there.
Love that.
So I'm trying to come up with that. I've decided they are doing the 1 million legacy, where you can purchase to have a name engraved inside the tower for somebody that you're for your intentions, for someone that's passed, or somebody that you love, or someone's been somebody that really means love to you, or whoever you want to do that for. So I'm doing it for my grandmother and my mother. So, but I think at this point, I don't want them to stand out. What I think I want to do is have them water etched into the stone inside the tower. And then as many as I can, of course, I can't do 1 million of them. I would love to gold leaf them. So once they're lasered into the walls, I want to gold leaf the names. And I'd like to be able to physically do that for some of the people, and just, fill their names engraved inside the tower. So the tower will be the sacred space of the entire project. They're going to be doing all kinds of retreats. They'll be doing music retreats. It's not a facility for get quick healing meditation. You come in, poof, you leave, and you think you're going to be a whole new person. It's really about changing your lifestyle and learning to accept others for who they are. And, it's just really a place for all, synergy and inclusion. And
there's so much going on here. And for me, after studying this, and even on my journey, when you use the word trauma, all of us suffer from trauma. It's in our subconscious from when we were kids. Doesn't mean we went through necessarily something traumatic, but somebody could have said something. You're passing a room, heard your parents talking, or a parent talking to somebody else. You internalize it, and that has changed your life, and you don't know what's limiting you. And it's, that's considered, I call it a little T trauma. Of course, there's big ones. But this sounds like an amazing 360 spiritual, holistic approach to moving your life forward. Amazing. Wow. So when you speak of the tower, Kristine, give us kind of a feel for size, magnitude, all of that.
So I have images of it.
Oh, cool.
What we did is they've been working with all these architects to get the tower designed so that I could start designing the interiors. They wanted me to get started on the design, but I needed to know what I was designing around.
Sure.
And that's kind of how my brain works. And after 6 months, the architects didn't quite get what they thought they envisioned. But they couldn't really tell you what it was. All they gave the architects was they see like a white rose and a moon crest. And so when I asked what they were telling the architects, and they told me that, I said, well, that's not 100% helpful. So that might be why you're not getting the building. And they're like, well, that's the only thing that comes to me when I close my eyes and I think about it. So my grandmother was a rose artist. So I honestly believe that I was completely connected with her. Um, she left me all of her sketches and her books on how to paint and draw roses.
I've never heard that there is somebody that just specializes in the art of roses.
Oh, she was incredible. She's
Wow.
long passed, but she won awards for her paintings. So she left me one of her last paintings. I have that in my hobby room in my studio.
Wow.
Um, so I pulled out all of her old books. I mean, these books were back in the 60s and the 70s. And I'm like, well, roses aren't meant to go up. Roses are meant to open. And I'm like, okay, well, I said, maybe we should just do a lotus building. She goes, no, everyone's done a lotus building. That doesn't say purity, love, celestial, inclusive. I mean, it doesn't, lotus flower doesn't say that. And I'm like, okay, just we need purity. And I'm like, okay. So I don't know how many, I'm gonna say probably 50 sketches. I started getting the flower to go up into opening up.
Hmm.
And then I need to figure out how to have glass in that. So after all my sketches, I sent it over to them and they said, oh my gosh, that's the building. That's it. And I'm like, really? That's it? And they're like, that's it. That's what we envision. I'm like, that's awful. So we got with one of the team members that's volunteered all their time on this. He's a sketch artist for TV shows. He's on Family Man, one of them, that he does all the sketches for that. And so he took my renderings and put color to them, and it looked pretty, which I have on my phone. So that's the
Oh,
sketch
wow.
that he made.
Wow. Man, that is clear. Usually when people hold their phone up on a Zoom, you don't see it. I got it. We see that very clear.
So wait till you see the AI version of it. So,
Ooh.
so that's on the video. So now we've done that. And so the moon crest, which for me is going to be a half dome, that's going to be in front of the tower where that's where you drop all your devices. Everything, anything worldly is going to go there. It's going to go into a locker. You're going to lock it up. You're going to walk across the bridge when you go into the tower because it's not going to be a place for Instagram photos or videoing. It's a place for you to just connect with yourself, with whatever it is you want to connect with. It's going to be a place where upstairs they're going to have, where they're going to do prayers. They've got leaders from all over the world that want to come in and teach everybody their proper way of praying. So I felt that they needed to record all of that and have it in a room where people can sit in on it and they can click to which version of prayers they want to listen to, how to
Wow.
pray. So, every religion, every sect out there prays differently.
Amazing.
So whatever it is that you connect with. So they're going to do that. The upper level will be a private area they have monks. They're going to have people, leaders from all over the church that are going to come and have, be able to come there and do meditations with other leaders of churches. And then we're going to have a garden on top. That's just going to be a meditation garden. So it's really going to be a phenomenal tower. It's 8 stories. We will have probably 1 or 2 stories below to handle all the mechanics of it. It's in a harbor in a bay in Puerto Rico. So it's high up on a hill.
Wow.
It will be high up on a hill. So I have to have shatterproof glass because of the hurricanes. So what we are trying to do is try and figure out how the concrete. I'm working with one of my business partners who specializes in forming concrete. So we're going to use this flexible concrete for it. And I'm hoping that we can find some way that when hurricanes come, that with the push of a button, that it comes out of the concrete and goes around and covers the glass during the hurricane.
This is so cool. I gotta tell you, every city should have what you're describing, a place where people can go. So many different aspects, modalities of healing. And I'm a believer in there are no coincidences.
Mhm.
Do you feel that your grandmother's talent with roses, this was, this is like a divine intervention, for this project?
A very sacred thing that happened to me, which I don't know if this is going to freak people out or not. It's something I don't really
Nothing
much about.
surprises me. I welcome it all.
2:30 every morning, I would be woken up with what I felt like my grandmother was talking to me. And my husband just thought, I'm like, who are you having a conversation with? It's like, I think my grandmother's mad at me. And he's like, what? And I go, she keeps telling me to get up. I fought it for about a week, and then it continued into the following week at 2:30 every morning. I didn't understand what the 2:30 point was. And all it was for me to go look for her sketches. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this. I'm not the designer of the building. I've never done that before. So I really fought that whole thing. So finally, about day 9 of being woken up abruptly, I got up and I'm like, I could have sworn I got rid of all that stuff, but went into my studio. I have one here at the house, and opened up the first drawer. I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, Grandma, I don't know why I'm up at 2:30 in the morning. I'm sitting here looking at her picture. I brought it in here because she really yelled at me. And I'm like, you gotta tell me where to look. So I opened up a drawer and there was all of her sketches in her books. And I'm just like, I literally sat down and sobbed, pulled it all out, laid it out. And I'm like, okay, well, you're going to have to be my hands because I don't know what to do. And literally every day for a week after that, I got up at 2:30 in the morning and I did that. When I told that story at the unveiling of the design, we had a big, huge reveal party. Invited all these leaders to come, and I told that story. My design assistant stands up and she says, well, you know what that means, don't you? And I go, no. She says, 2:30 in military time is the frequency of love. I'm in the middle of this speaking engagement and I'm like, what did you just say? And I'm like, how did I not know this? And then everyone's just like, so I've got goosebumps. So
Me too. And I got the unveiling of this entire project should be at 2:30 p.m.
We did do it at 2:30 p.m.
Oh, there you go. Wow. I have to share something else with you, and there's a reason. My mom passed 5 years ago. I asked for signs from her. I get them. They're very specific, and they always include her name. And they're very specific. The last one, most impactful, was, Mom, send me a sign. Everything's all right. Just check in with me. It's been a while, whatever. So I get a new modem right underneath his desk. And, they just deliver it and I flip it over. There's a password. Saved $100. Thanks, Mom. And there's the password and it's right up on the wall. There's 4 digits, dash her name, dash 2 digits. And I was trying to figure out the digits, and I'll get with that in a minute. You know what my mom's name is? Rose.
Are you kidding me?
No. And go layers deeper whether you believe in this. The numbers always came out to 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven. What's going on with the 7-Eleven? Can't figure it out. I mentioned it to my daughter. She's like, maybe it's your dad. I'm like, hmm. Now, I didn't have a great relationship with him. He passed a sudden heart attack when I was 21. I took that as maybe a sign that they're together again and I should take care of my health. And I thought about it. He died on 7/11. He was born on 3/4/7. Again, you move these numbers around, that's what it comes out to. I go to the cardiologist last year and I walk up to the intake person. Hi, I'm here for my appointment. I look at her shirt. What do you think her name was? Rose.
Rose.
Right on her shirt. I'm like, oh, interesting. Okay. And everything was great. There's little tweaks here and there, watch your cholesterol, blah, blah, blah. And everything was fine. I had to share it because of her name. So,
Yes.
there's, wow. Anyway, I get what you're saying.
Well, I hope that I'm going to be the designer of the first Rose building. But would you like to see the quick video?
Please.
Okay, let me share that really super fast. So that, okay, so see the 1 million legacy. So here's the moon crest. You walk in, you go into this building. There.
Often we fail to realize the true power of love. But it is clear that love is the single most important driving force for humanity. But currently, our world is consumed by its lower impulses from the effects of the pandemic, political unrest, and the rise of cultural conflicts. We live in a world divided by differences. To counter this great division, we are sharing a message to choose love over everything to unite humanity. A few times in each generation, an idea will arise from the human imaginations, which changes the world for the better.
That's him doing my sketch.
The Love Tower at Shah
Wow.
will be a sacred monument that will stand the test of time, a symbol of love for ages to come. It will be a space for all to visit in Puerto Rico on a hilltop overlooking the beautiful island and the waters, a place where we can come together to cultivate more love through meditation, art, dance, and music. This is an invitation.
This is the unveiling of the design
by building the Love Tower at Shah, a visual, symbolic reminder of the sacred power of love. Join the 1 million love legacy, where 1 million people will join forces towards building this monument and uniting the world with the power of love.
Wow. Not just a great idea, one we all need.
Yes.
Oof.
And then when they were all crying, that was the unveiling of the design. And I was standing on the back high up so I could just kind of watch it and seeing their reaction when they unveiled the design. And I was just like, there are people, I'm like, look at these people. I said, they're sobbing. And they're like, you did that. I said, no, my grandmother did that. I am doing my grandmother's work. I did not do that.
No coincidence.
I don't see it as me doing that.
There's no coincidence.
No.
It's, can I ask, we're out of time, but what's your grandmother's name?
Olea.
Say again.
Olea.
Olea?
Olea. And I asked my mother, and she says, well, you know what the meaning of that is? I said, no, I have no idea what the meaning is. And she says, your great-grandmother was a midwife, and she rode a horse across the plains to deliver babies. And the only way she could make it from home to home was through the light of the moon. She goes, meaning, your moon crest. She goes, your grandmother's name means the light of the moon, that it brightens the dark with the light of the moon. And because they couldn't understand why they needed a moon crest. And I go, what's the moon crest for? She goes, I don't know. So they're naming the rose garden after my grandmother. It's going to be the Olea Rose Garden.
Wow. This is like this. Talk about synergy. Talk about
I got goosebumps.
Divinity, and just man, this is
one
just
of my. This is probably going to be my lasting legacy.
I was just going to say,
yeah.
top that, Kristine.
yeah. I'm like, I still pinch myself that I've been asked, and they said, your birthday is one of the reasons although they said we can bring any designer in, but not every designer comes with a heart, and we need your heart on this project.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that we know that you have a relationship with God. We know that you understand space, you understand other people, and you don't design for you, you design for everybody else. And they said, your birthday is 8/8. And I said, okay, double infinity.
Mm.
And I said, never even thought about that. And they go, no, you're double infinity. There's I'm learning all about these numbers. I'm like, I don't know anything about these numbers. So I'm like, I have to learn. They're like, you were divinely, you were supposed to do this. And I'm like, any other designer out there and they could do this.
There's a reason. Double numbers are very powerful. And my birthday, if you take the two numbers, month and day, and you add them together, gives you a life path number. Mine comes out to 11, which is a pretty powerful number, as I'm told.
Yes,
and then I started looking at what I'd say before, 7 and 11, right? And I moved 2 years ago. And if you take my address, 3 numbers, add them together, it's 11. I didn't look for it. It just was there.
Mm-hmm.
I could go on forever. This is wonderful. I am so happy for you. This is just, I have no words. This is when things are meant to be, this was meant to be. And just even, I already got it. But when I saw that video of it on the mountainside in Puerto Rico, and just a wonderful, serene setting, that's fantastic. But imagine duplicating this in different cities and what kind of awareness, healing, togetherness, love it would bring.
So we plan on this will be the flagship, and then they want to do them small versions of it all over the world.
Love it. This is just a piece of what you do. You do so much more. Your portfolio speaks volumes better than I ever could. Your website is theluxurylook.com. Is that right?
It is, yes.
Awesome. So wonderful talking with you today. I didn't even know that side of you, and you probably didn't even know the side of me.
No,
I do podcasts every single day, thousands on just what just what that tower is looking to accomplish.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Well, hope you can share that with the rest of your listeners, because I think the more that know about it, the better.
I will take that with me. And a rosy outlook for sure. Thank you so much. We'll talk soon. Okay.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her.
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge.
Got to get this all straightened out. Give a little talking to, man to man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve. Is now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend.
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.